Alright guys, so here we go. It's not Saturday. It's actually Monday. Yeah, we were a little bit sick on Saturday, so we didn't go shoot. But today we're out, we did some stuff, so let's talk about it. Alright, so the main thing for today was another 5.56 suppressor comparison. I gotta sneeze. Alright, so we like to do this every now and then, especially as we get some more cans and stuff, some dedicated 5.56 cans, not 30 cal cans that you can multi-purpose and stuff, but dedicated 5.56 cans. I like to do this to try to give people as much information as possible. And in that video, I will not be using a decibel meter. I will not be using my watch as a decibel meter or some app on a phone as a decibel meter, because a decibel meter worth getting, and I've looked into this, gotten quotes from the people who make these things, you're gonna spend around $10,000 to get something that's worth it. Now I could go get an app that gives me a number, but that number is so far off, I may as well just be making crap up. So I'm not even gonna deal with that. So if you ask me why I don't use a decibel meter, well, I will say I'll do it as soon as you send me $10,000 and I can get a legitimate decibel reader. Anyway, so we're not looking at that. I tried to look at back pressure, how I heard the cans. Now on a lot of the hosts that we have, we went everything from a 7.5 inch barrel up to a 20-inch barrel. And the shorter barrel systems that we shot these things on, I wore Ear Pro because those are gonna be loud. There's no getting around that. Once you get up to the 12.5 and up, right, that range, 16-inch really and up, it really gets a lot better. The 20-inch gun, that sounds phenomenal. If you ever want to get a good sounding 5.56 suppressed system, and I mean you're worried about sound, get a 20-inch gun. It's just going to sound so much better, so much better. Anyway, but the cans that we had brought out are the Turbo K, Fat Cat, Turbo T3, KGM R556, the wonderful, the one everybody's scared of, right? The Dead Air Sierra 5, 2 Griffin cans, the HRT 556 and the Breek-Lok 5, and our Surefire 556 RC. So call them 556 RC, however you say that, the clone can. Anyway, we brought all these out. I think that was all the 556 cans. So the main ones that I think we added that we hadn't had last time are the Griffin cans and the KGM can. And I'll tell you straight up, spoiler alert, the KGM can, in my opinion, beat every single suppressor on back pressure. Because every time I had an adjustable gas anything, whether that be an adjustable, well, yeah, an adjustable gas piston on the Jackal, or an adjustable bolt carrier group on a couple of the other systems, it would not cycle unless I opened up the gas, because it was letting too much gas, I hope I said that right, it was letting too much gas out, flow through the can, and not enough to back pressure into the system to run the system, whereas all the other cans, they ran fine. So that's a little note, a little interesting thing there. This guy has surprised me very, very much. Anyway, we also tried to look at some flash and some things like that. I didn't shoot them at distance. Probably maybe should have done that, but I'm just gonna run with it as is. And then we did some fast shooting, we'll call it that, trying to look closely at the charging handle and the gas, not the gas port, the charging handle and the ejection port, to kind of see if there's much difference in gas expelling from the rifle, put it that way. That was the main thing. That took a long time. That took a lot of rounds, that took a lot of time, a lot of video time and all that stuff. So hopefully I can get all that taken care of and get a video worth watching. That's not just long and boring. Anyway, like this video. Some other stuff we're looking at. This is interesting. This is the Breek-Lok from Breek Arms, right? So this is kind of instead of a tri-lug, it's like a dual lug system. It goes on, it's compressed with like a spring, right? Locks into place, and then you crank it down, right? It's made out of titanium, I do believe, so it's very lightweight. It's interesting. So this is something else that we're looking at, just kind of playing around with, seeing how exactly we like it, since we're holding this gun on several of the things that we shot today. And just playing around and doing some different stuff. The Evolution Weapon System bolt carrier group, the Buffalo's bolt carrier group, that is like unobtainium. I'm not even sure if they're trying to sell them anymore, but it's running. It's running a lot better now. So I think it just has a relatively long break-in period. You really got to clean it and break it in, shoot it, and do all the kinds of stuff to it. But it ran flawlessly today. And granted, we didn't shoot thousands of rounds through it, but we'd shoot and we'd unload it and we'd run more stuff, get it hot, and it worked. So surprisingly, this one is working. So I think it is just a major break-in period. Some other stuff, Griffin Armament, Snatch, these charging handles. We ran these in the suppressor test, just kind of, again, looking at stuff. It can't run it on everything because not all the systems that we had out use a regular charging handle. One thing I will say about these is they do not fit every upper receiver, right? I have an Arrow Precision upper receiver. This will not fit. I have a mil-spec upper receiver. This will not fit. It's just very, very tight. I think they went to the tighter tolerance to try to trap as much gas and close those you know, the crevices and whatnot, the openings, and I can see where they're going with that if that's what they did. However, it's not going to fit every single upper that's out there, right? So it did fit some of ours, so we were able to use it. One that it did fit, and they have a different color. I'm glad it fit this one. This is my pin and weld 16-inch gun, and this is their tan colored Snatch charging handle. Fits the whole FDE thing going on, but anyway, played around with that a little bit. Other than that, that was all the rifle stuff we did. We also brought back out the cannon fodder, our high-tech suppressor. Wow, if high-tech made a suppressor, that'd be interesting. High-point. High-tech does make suppressors. High-point. A high-point. We deleted the internal slide lock. So if this has an empty magazine, he shouldn't lock back anymore. And he did once or twice, but that was when the magazine was empty. So it didn't really mess anything up. We did that because when we were on the suppressed with that Goliath suppressor, that big monstrosity of a suppressor, sounds amazing, fantastic. My daughter was actually out today and she shot it. She was surprised by how quiet it was. And now this guy runs way better than he was before. Once you delete that internal slide lock, the internal one, the external one, you can still lock it back if you want to. But that internal one, it's relatively easy to delete. Last but not least, the Olight O-Sight. We re-zeroed this at 25 yards, what was it, 2 weeks ago? I think it was 2 weeks ago. And came out today, we shot 4 5-round groups. We need to adjust the zero about an inch to the right. We need to move the impacts about an inch or an inch and a half to the left. I don't think anything shifted. I think that's just fine-tuning the zero as we continue to shoot this thing. I'm continually impressed, to be quite honest with you, and I know some people are just not going to care about that and they're just going to call me whatever, and that's cool and that's fine, and I really don't care. But I am impressed with how well this thing has done so far. If we can get some more time with it, then I'll drop it and do that kind of thing. I'm trying not to just break it on purpose right now. I'm trying to use it like a normal person would. I did run down the battery completely. I had it on the highest setting with no shake awake, constant on, and it ran for about 2.5 weeks, something like that. I'm going to fully charge it again, mark the date down, because I forgot to mark the date down. I'm going to fully charge it, mark the date down, and then do the same thing, and actually take some notes so I can give you actual, like, not about 2.5 weeks, but actually give you some dates. But that should tell you, at the highest setting, no shake awake, constant on the whole time, it should last you about 2 weeks. A little bit more, 2.5 weeks, something like that. That's what it should last you. And that's with not charging it in all those settings and everything. So if you put it on shake awake, yeah, you'd be fine. And you have the charger, so you dump the charger on there once a week and you're gonna be fine. So anyway, I think it's cool. It's impressing me enough to where I'm just gonna keep rolling it with it. I have no reason right now to not like it, for like, except for the name. I have no reason right now to say that this is a terrible thing. So I'm not gonna say that, so it's working. Other than that, I think that's it. That's pretty much it. This was interesting. The more and more I shoot this was an accident getting. They did not send me this. PSA doesn't work with me at all. The more and more I shoot this thing, the more and more I actually like this. It cycles well. It's easy to adjust the gas. I mean, shoots really well. Shoots accurately. Suppresses phenomenally. It is a little bit heavy, but I really don't care about that. I'm not toting this thing through the woods. It's surprising me how much I really like it and the smoothness of it. I've got some guns that have these side charging handles and the springs can bind up and it's just not as refined. This feels like a more refined system. I'm gonna leave it at that. But I really like this. The more and more I shoot this, the more I'm glad that I got one. And I'm just gonna keep using it because it's pretty slick. I really actually do like it. I think that's it. If you got any questions, let me know. And that's it. Y'all be good, be safe, and hopefully we'll catch you guys in the next video. See ya.